if you're an open-minded individual and you have that self-reflection that each of us should have, then you'll take a lot of away from what we're saying today. And by all means, we're not relationship experts at all. Right. We are just going off of some research that we've conducted individually, and as well some of our own personal life experiences to hopefully help somebody out there that possibly is lost in the world of dating or just in the world of life. Right. So
I think a lot of people, when they get out there into the world, into the dating world, they tend to mimic what they've seen done. You know what I'm saying? And they take that same mimicry from one relationship to another, and not really knowing that the person that they chose the first time may not be like the person that they choose in the second time. Right. Or the person they choose in the third time may not be like the person they chose the second time. So it's a lot of differences in males, and it's a lot of differences in females, and everybody got to learn to adjust accordingly so that they can grow and elevate with each other. Oh, you know what I mean?
I think that's hugely important, is that as individuals, we continue to grow. We continue to learn from each other, from life experiences, from other people surrounding us within our circle, outside of our circle. You should be able to learn something every single day. If not learn something just about life, learn something about yourself.
Right. Peace, Gordon. How you doing, man? Good to see you on the show. For tonight, we're going to throw some entertainment at y'all, and we're going to let Tina take off. But before Tina take off, hey to Queen Intelligent Wisdom, and Nikki said, I need to know this because I'm an alpha woman.
Okay. Well, you might be surprised at some of the information that we're going to share today. You might even change your perspective of how you gauge yourself. So we shall see. I appreciate that you stepped up and you have some sense of self-awareness there.
Right, definitely. Gordon said this is first time watching. Thanks, Gordon, man. We appreciate you,
Gordon.
Man.
I'm glad that you tuned in. Hopefully you will watch some of our previous shows, and hopefully you continue to watch us moving forward.
Yeah, and this is the comeback scene. It's only been going back for 3 years. 3 weeks.
Well,
3 weeks. I said 3 years.
Coming back, but like we've been in this doing this live thing between myself and Don and myself and other people for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but it's been back on the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
it's been going back on, trying to lead up everybody to the reunion that's about to take place in August, and y'all don't want to miss that. That's gonna be a good thing. Dorothy is in the building.
She says, Miss Dorothy.
Yeah, how you doing, Miss Dorothy? So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. Now, before we talk about it, I have a 2-minute clip that I want y'all to listen to.
Yeah.
This was the inspiration for our topic today. So I stumbled upon a clip of this woman. This woman actually shares some very useful information about the differences between a beta and an alpha male, and gives her spin or perspective on each. So listen closely, and then we'll have an open discussion about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Here's a little bit. The beta male and the alpha male. Some of you women got this.
Oops. Sorry, y'all.
Technical difficulties.
My hand slipped.
I wanted to switch gears a little bit. The beta male and the alpha male. Some of you women got this really messed up. A beta male is just a personality type that is not as strong or not as outgoing and aggressive and assertive as an alpha. But that person is still a man. The beta male is the male that's going to take care of you. He's going to worship you. He's going to please you. That's his whole agenda. That alpha male, you don't please him. And he's only going to please a lioness. And half of y'all out there ain't a lioness. So a lot of you out here that was designed for a beta to protect you and to cater to your crazy ass, you don't want him because you think he's too soft. But you want to go over there with the king of the jungle like he going to take your shit. Ain't no alpha male taking no shit from nobody unless you a lioness. The jungle don't lie. Part 2. There's nothing wrong with being a beta male, but there's something wrong with some of you women out there. A lot of you have overbearing personalities like myself. But see, I know my place when it comes to a man, so I can date a beta or an alpha. I can date a beta because I know that his personality flaws or dysfunction or whatever he may have, all I have to do is not treat him bad and abuse him. Allow him to worship me. Allow him to do the things that he wants to do for me. And see, that alpha, he just wants respect. And you gonna respect him because the alpha either gonna make you respect him or you gonna get gone. A lot of you women out here are talking down about the beta when you're really made for a beta. You not made for an alpha because an alpha has a superior purpose, and you ain't a Michelle Obama. Part 3. An alpha male usually is in alignment with the creator, meaning he's alpha-minded because his purpose in a union is a powerful one. And if you are a woman that does not know your place with an alpha male and you don't know how to exist in a pact with other lioness, oh yeah, take it back to the jungles. You ain't meant for him. That's why you're not attracting him. So you take it out on the beta. The beta that's saying, I love you, I want you, and I'll stick by your side because I know how to take a woman like you. You call him weak, passive, and you stomp down on him. Then you want to run your ass over there to an alpha and get mad when that lion roar on that ass. Stay your ass where you supposed to be. If you are overbearing and you know that you're narcissistic yourself, stay with a beta because the beta got a little more patience for you. And the alpha, he gonna rip your head off and send you back to the beta crying about how bad he treats you. Y'all women get on my nerves. You don't want a man, you want a son. Bye.
Hey, look.
She went in on some of y'all.
Hey, look. The sister did not hold back on not one bit about that. She gave it to you as straight as she could possibly do it. Now it's for anybody else to for the person who was listening, male or female, to decide which direction you in and which direction you gonna go in from here on out. I mean, if you didn't know before, because a lot of people just don't know. But I'll let you speak to it because she was hitting the women hard. So go talk to him, Queen Ice. Talk to him.
Listen.
GT, happy birthday, man.
Oh, happy birthday, Gary. This woman is just in that 2-minute clip. It's so powerful with her words because she's telling women exactly what you need to hear. Exactly what you need to hear. It may not be what you wanted to hear, but it's exactly what you needed to hear. A lot of women pick men that are very dominant and strong, and that's the alpha male. And the reason why you pick them is because sometimes they mimic other male role models in your life, whether it be an uncle, a father, a grandfather, a pastor. Someone in your past has really guided you to want that strong male figure in your life. But you might be too much of an alpha female for an alpha male. And you really need to self-evaluate how strong or how dominant you are in order to know if your personality traits will actually mesh well with an alpha male.
Yeah. And you know what? Also, well, first thing I'm gonna say is, anybody out there, did you hear anything that you either liked or disliked about what she was saying? And if you did, go ahead and send that in the chat. And also request to come on the show if you want to, because we got some time and we want to hear your voice too. So anybody that might think about getting out there and seeing what's going on. As a matter of fact, share this with your friends that's in the group, y'all, so we can build up a little bit momentum going into this reunion. You know what I mean? But what she was saying, I love what that woman was saying, right? Because she put everybody in their place. Really, in today's terms, for what the young people might say, she was letting everybody know: get in your lane, find your lane, get in your lane, and don't get ran over. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you could be predator or prey in this situation. And from what that woman was saying, I don't know. I see a lot of prey out here.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, tag Chris in it. Or share it with her.
Mess?
Right.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And Marlo and them,
All right, I got you.
But yeah, let me say this. For my starting case in this whole thing, right? is about the male and the female. This is how I'm going to bring it from the beginning. I'm thinking about leadership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leadership, leaders, who gon' guide, right? So, like for me, I always go into the dictionary when I'm looking for words and I'm looking at different meanings to words. I don't do that to fluff up anything, right? But if I go into the dictionary and look for a word, you can also go look for that word. So it's no lie. I can prove it and you can verify that. You know what I'm saying? So we can go and have the discussion on the same thing instead of you coming with opinion and I'm coming with opinion.
Right.
Now we got fact based right out the dictionary. You know what I mean? So anyway, leader, right? To lead in a relationship is to show the way. What you think about that?
Absolutely.
It's to show the way, right? And that's like in direction or guidance. And then it's also to influence a person, right? We influence each other on a daily basis and we don't even think about what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, a lot of times with women in male relationships, the woman might guide a man by some of the clothes she wear or some of the cooking that she do. You know what I'm saying, around the house, and the man might not even know that that's what's happening. And then the man might try to guide with his voice. You know what I'm saying, or with his light of showing her how he shine in the different activities that he do on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, lead is also to guide in direction or course of action by opinion or truths, right? So when you do that, you can only do that if you got a strong foundation that you standing on, right? So that's leadership. Mm-hmm. Now we got to get to the meat of the matter.
Yes, let's get to the meat of it.
Nikki Joseph said she's an alpha woman.
She's an alpha woman.
So would she pair well with an alpha male? Let me say this though. Looking into some of the research for this show, right? Because we do the research. We might look like we just get up here and talk, but we actually do some research about what's going on, and then we use our experiences. So I got 3 different definitions. We got the alpha, we got the beta, and we got the omega. I had never thought about the omega without doing this research.
Wow. I didn't either.
You didn't either?
No.
So, so it's kind of crazy because I'm looking at it right here, right, and what I wrote down. And so we got the alpha, right? Alpha is the person that having the highest rank of its sex in a dominance-based hierarchy.
And that, when he said sex, that definitely applies to both male and female. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, because it says it's sex.
That
means it's universal. It goes to everybody. So this is not male dominated or female dominated.
Right.
Like Tina said, it's everybody that it goes through. Now, dig that. We're gonna go with the alpha. That's alpha. Right? I'm giving you the short definitions that apply. The beta is very simple. The second of any series. So he gonna be in second place no matter what.
Right.
He just gonna take the back seat.
And they're okay with that.
Right.
Keep that in mind.
Right.
That just because you're a beta and you're second best doesn't mean that it's bad or it's a bad thing. It just simply means that as a beta individual, male or female, you know what your role is and you play your role very well.
Right. Now here go the omega. The omega is the deepest one. Mm-hmm. Right? Because this the cat that really don't care about nothing.
Nothing.
He don't care about nothing that's going on. The omega is a man who chooses not to have a powerful or important role in social or professional situations. He just want to get by.
Right.
He don't care. So
He doing him. Or she's doing her.
Right. He found his lane and he in it.
Right.
And he like, okay, you want to be he could probably mess with a alpha female or a beta female.
That's right.
And he just want to live and exist.
Right.
Right? And he don't really care about what's going on.
Titles don't matter to him.
Titles don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Sean, how you doing tonight? So titles don't matter to him. That's deep.
That's very deep.
Yeah.
That is very deep.
So then I put down as a subcategory, you got the alpha who is the leader, you got the beta who is secondary, and you got the omega who's just like
chilling. Just
chilling.
like, I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah.
You want to be strong and dominant, you want to be the alpha, go ahead. Be that over there.
Yeah.
You want to be beta and a little bit less dominant, all right, be there. But I'm in my lane.
He just
I
getting
got
by.
my lane right here, and I'm straight. Right where I'm at.
He just getting on by, making sure that everything is cool. He don't care. So he could be the leader if that's what's desired of him.
Right.
Or he could take the
He
back
know how
seat.
to switch.
Right. So you got a situation where I've been in situations with women where she might do a lot of planning. I could sit back, right? Then I've been in situations where women don't know how to do the same kind of planning. So I take the lead. And that's that omega position.
That is that omega.
Right? Because everybody wants an alpha male, right?
Well, I mean, I would say the vast majority of women enjoy the comforts of an alpha male. Someone who's strong, dominant, who knows how to lead, protect, provide, do all of those masculine things, those dominant things that some women prefer. But you got to realize that you can get you an omega who would be willing to do both.
But here go the cold part. Because we're gonna get to y'all, we're gonna get to some of the comments and questions. But right after this, we're gonna say this. I've been seeing some women that want that alpha male, but what comes with it?
Right.
Because see, alpha.
I'm gonna talk about what comes with it now.
Right.
I'm gonna talk about it.
Because that alpha in my eyes, right, in my mind, the alpha automatically as a leader, you gotta have control.
At all times.
At all times. 100% of the time, it's got to be control.
Got to.
There is no giving up. That's why the fight go back and forth. Not physical, probably. Could be physical.
Could be.
Could be physical. But not physical, but it's going to be a struggle, right? Yeah. And somebody going to grab the reins. Get off my reins. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got this. You know what I mean? So, I think a lot of times, we got to be careful in our desires.
Yes.
Right?
And in our selection process.
In the selection process, too. You want to read some of the...
Yeah, let me get to some of these comments before we get even into more depth about what's really going on here. So, Cecil just wanted to shout out Gary and tell him happy birthday.
Peace.
Nikki said, I need to know this because I'm an alpha woman. And then she replied to Curtis and said, don't be surprised. Mr. Paul Tigner said the difference between alpha and beta male is one's a bitch. Nah, I disagree with you on that. I disagree with you on that, sir.
Hey, that might be.
Okay. We're gonna get to that. And Nikki said, wait, maybe I need a beta male. You might even change your mind again in these next couple of minutes to just evaluate what he said about an omega male.
Keep going in the comments. You're going to see something.
She said, yeah, same. Never thought about the omega. I know you didn't.
Hey, that was a deep one though, right, Nikki? Because, literally without doing the research, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because all you ever hear about is the beta and the alpha.
Right. And it's a third party always waiting in lieu.
That's right. Mr. Cooper said, does a woman believe because of her beauty that she's entitled to think that she should be considered alpha?
Oh, that's a great question. I want to hear this answer. Mr. Cooper, let me put a heart by that. Let me put a heart by that one.
Because of her beauty, she's entitled to think that she should be considered an alpha female. Ooh. All of you alpha females who are very beautiful and use your beauty as a sense of dominance, I would love to hear from you.
Beautiful question. That's a great question.
I would love to hear from you.
Oh, man, you know what? I got a question, though.
Go ahead.
Nikki, you said that you think you're alpha female.
Yeah.
What makes you an alpha female?
Yeah, Nikki. Miss Wigglebottom. Ain't that how you say it?
Wiggles bottom.
Tell us why you feel like you're an alpha female. And for all of those alpha females that are out there, step up and tell us exactly. I mean, you're dominant, you're strong, you're all of these alpha traits. Tell us what it is about you that makes you an alpha.
Go through the comments. Keep going through the comments until she said, because it's gonna be something else. Here we go.
Chantalak said, hey y'all, hey honey.
Hey, Sean.
Hopefully you can step out this Sunday and see us. You know, you were a cheerleader, so come on out and revisit some of your old cheerleader friends. Nikki said, oh, okay, I don't want an alpha male, LOL. Why? But I thought that's what you wanted. See? Mr. Goldson joined us. Thank you, Antoine.
Peace.
Miss Dana said, off topic, everyone send a prayer up for our sister Trina Parker. Yes, please. Send up a prayer. It is not for us to speak about what's going on in her life, but just know that she needs a lot of prayers from everyone. There's something very personal that's going on in her life, and she is asking prayers to be sent her way because she desperately needs it. So keep her in your prayers. Make sure that if you can reach out to her, she may not answer, but at least she knows that she's being thought about by her Indian family.
That's peace. We will that she gets better in her situation.
And then Nikki says, you're right, LOL. I want an Omega male. Girl, you done changed 4 different times in this last 10 minutes about what type of man you want.
Hey, that's why I said you gotta go through them all. Because it could
really
be.
Do.
Yup. Mr. Cooper, go ahead and read that one. And
Mr. Cooper said prayers for Trina Parker and family. And Nikki also sent some prayers up. So, Trina, honey, listen. We all love, cherish, and adore you. We hope that everything works out and everything gets better for you. Mm-hmm. Just know that we love, cherish, and adore you, and you are in each of our prayers.
Yeah, we will that everything get right with your situation. Mm-hmm. Now,
all right, now let's get back on topic.
I want Nikki. We want you to tell us why you an alpha female.
I want to know.
Paul, we want you to. I'm gonna say, what's up, Paul? First, greet you first, and then we want to know why did you say that one is
that the beta is basically a bitch.
What did you say about the alpha?
No, he just said something about the beta. He said the difference between an alpha and beta male is one's a bitch.
Okay. So explain that to us. A matter of fact, what's good, Paul? Hey, listen. With comments like that, Paul, you got to come on the show. Request to come on the show, man.
We want to pull you in on this live here.
Yeah,
we might just have to send you a goddamn video invite so you can speak your piece
all we need is
typing it out.
We need 3 minutes. That's it. We only need 3 minutes.
3 minutes of your time just so that you can verbalize what you meant by that.
Yeah, because that's a little bit too meaty to
type.
Yeah.
I don't want your words to be misinterpreted at all. So if you have a couple minutes, step outside if you're at home or at work. Go in the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
Talk to us. I need to know what you meant by that.
Is it okay if we request you to jump in for 2 minutes?
He said the beta is submissive.
That's not true.
That's not.
But I don't want to direct you.
You got to give us more than that, Paul. You got to give us more than that.
Can we add you in, Paul?
Either say yay or nay.
Or Nikki.
Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Or Nikki, can we add you in too so you can explain the alpha? And we only gonna give the guest 2 or 3 minutes unless you want more. So we're not gonna keep you if you don't want to be kept. You know what I mean? But this is a meaty subject right here because I think a lot of people get confused. And
there's a whole lot of misunderstandings about the real true definition of a beta and an alpha male.
It is.
And of course, with Don hitting us with this, Wham bam, 1-2
It's a
punch.
it's a third one
It's a
coming
third
in.
one out there that y'all ain't really thought about. And
Yeah.
that one just sitting there standing in his lane until he or she decides, hey, you know, I'm going to jump on board. And that's that Omega person.
Yeah, and since Tina came with the boxing analogy, hey, everybody think about the jab, everybody think about the hook, but nobody don't think about the uppercut.
That's right.
And the uppercut take you by the chin and knock you out.
Yeah, it be that one.
Uh-huh.
Gary said, man, y'all ain't playing with this topic.
Man, hey, add on, Gary, add on. Let us know what you think.
GT, if you got a moment to pop in and speak your piece, we'll be happy to add you into the discussion live.
All we need is 2 or 3 minutes because I'm trying to find out. We had 2 people say something that was very pertinent to the topic, but we need to have that discussion with their words coming out their mouth so that we don't make any mistakes. There is no misinterpretation. See, you got another word too. So
Misunderstanding.
Well, no, we gotta get
and misinterpretation.
just because you got another one. You got a third word. So you can have a misunderstanding,
Right.
a misinterpretation,
Okay.
or a misinterorientation.
Ooh.
Right? And we don't want to be the person that gives the other people that misunderstanding because somebody else said it.
Okay.
Because you know what I'm saying? So it's a difference between going one-on-one or 1-to-1 to get it over to the other side.
Right.
We don't want that mistake to happen. Not tonight. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we'll keep going.
We'll keep going. Yeah. So
What kind of man do you like?
Okay,
Until Nikki stopped being shy.
Right.
And Paul say he went outside or whatever, he ready to do it.
Yeah. So in conducting my research, Nikki did speak. Nikki said, I'm too submissive.
I'm not too submissive.
I'm not too submissive, but never had a real man to submit to. I'm not going to submit to a weak man. I'm powerful in everything I do. I'm not a pushover. I can go on and on. So you believe that a beta male or a beta person is submissive and not powerful. They're weak and a pushover. Wow.
Wait. No. She's saying that she's not a pusher. Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
which
yeah.
means if she's an
She's
alpha,
beta,
if she's an
yeah.
alpha female, then
Exactly.
that's why she desires an alpha male, because a beta male would be too much of a pushover.
But then that's also reading between the lines of what Nikki said. She's also what you're also saying is that if you dealt with you look at an alpha male as somebody that want to push you around and want to dominate you, right? But that's not true. I don't. For me, you know what I'm saying. My understanding of it does not say that the alpha male is there to dominate. The alpha male to me is like the general in the army. So you got the general, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the captain.
Right.
And then you got the lieutenant. And you make your way down to the ranks and you got the private soldiers.
Right.
So each one of them gives somebody an order.
Right.
None of them is getting pushed around though.
No.
You know what I mean?
And you also have to understand that each one that have been given a title know their role, and some of it master their role perfectly. So you might find some private soldiers that are very comfortable being private soldiers and never want to step up and be a leader, but that doesn't mean that they're insignificant.
Right.
That what they do and their role in life is insignificant.
Let's also remember too that the pawn, right, is very clever and very powerful and
Can sometimes win the game.
it can come but if it can get all the way across, it can become the most powerful piece on the board.
That's right.
Right? And so with that being said, you know, somebody may start off as a beta, right?
Right.
Until they see that they in a relationship that needs an alpha. Because you got relationships where you got 2 betas involved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with those
yeah.
2 betas being involved, right? You can have a problem. That's why you got so many relationships that the man and the woman are always undecided, right? Because you don't have a leader in that situation. And I'm not just saying in the house. I'm just saying in that relationship, because they don't have to be in the house. But that in that relationship with those 2 people being undecided, so much goes undone.
That is very
Right?
true.
Catfish, we see you, and Marlo, we see you too.
Good
to
evening.
y'all.
Good evening.
Catfish and Marlo, we're looking for somebody to come on in and join us if they got anything to say on this
speak
topic.
your piece. Let me know if you are an alpha or a beta and why. Marlo, are you an alpha or a beta female, or are you an omega?
Right.
Catfish, same thing, same question.
Here go the what's the name? I can say it again for him. Go ahead. You want to finish?
No,
that?
go ahead.
Okay, so I can tell you, yeah, we have defined the alpha male and the beta male, and we threw a uppercut Catfish because we came with another one. Like in the research, like we said, we doing the research. We doing the research. And we going with the definitions of certain things so that people can go and do it themselves too. And they know that it's just not opinion, it's fact-based. Right? So as it go, first we define leader, right? And the leader is somebody that shows the way, right? They give direction or management. They influence and they guide in direction, course of action, or sometimes opinion and truth, right? Alpha is a person that's having the highest rank or the highest rank of its sex in a dominance hierarchy. The beta is the second of any series, right? The second of any series. Now, with that said, in the research of all of that, we found something else in our research. You also got, along with the alpha male and the beta male, you got an omega male. And the omega male is the guy, it's a man who chooses not to have a powerful or important role in a social or professional situation. A man who chooses not to have a powerful or important role in a social or professional situation. So you got the alpha male, that's the leader. You got the beta male, that's the secondary, that takes the secondary position in anything, right? And we talking about male or female. And then you got the omega, who just want to get by. They don't care about who's the leader. They could be the leader sometimes. They could be the secondary person sometimes, but they just want everything to go smooth. And they don't care about what's happening.
They're willing to be interchangeable and flexible and establish whatever role is necessary in that moment, in that relationship. So, yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell what an alpha, a beta, and omega is. And that does apply not only to a male, but also to both sexes, meaning male or female. So we pose the question to those that are watching. Are you an alpha? Are you a beta? Or are you an omega? And why? If you feel you fit into one of those three categories and you can give us the reason why, the breakdown as to why you feel you are an alpha, a beta, or an omega, feel free to join us. Whether it be you want to verbalize it and we can put you in on our live, or if you want to type it out in the comment section and I'll be happy to read it for you. So I'm going to get to a couple more comments.
It's about to get interesting.
It is.
Paul clowning. Okay,
Paul is clowning in these comments, y'all. So Nikki said, I said I'm not, but I would date a beta. So she would date a beta. But Nikki Joseph started off by saying she was looking for her an alpha male. Then she changed up and said, nah, maybe I need a beta. And now she's like, I might date a beta male, but, I'm kind of leaning more towards an omega male. So just in like 10-15 minutes span, Nikki done changed her mind on, she don't know what she want, y'all.
Nikki came in hot. Nikki came in hot tonight because it's something big in the works.
And then Catfish Curse said, Nikki Joseph, yeah, okay, alpha. Paul said, Tina facts. But as characteristics change, alphas are not bitches. Betas have reservations. So does reservations mean that you're a bitch? No. I guess you got to give me a little bit more, because when I think of someone who's a bitch, they're just a flat out coward. And I don't, me personally, after doing the research, after learning about alphas, betas, and omegas, a coward doesn't fit into any one of those.
Right. And also a beta, so just to speak to that point right there, you know, from my understanding of it, a beta is somebody who just like to let somebody else do things, right?
Right,
Because
they're okay and comfortable
Yeah.
with taking the back seat on
Yeah.
almost every
And
occasion.
they also might be the person like just think of it like this. The beta might be the bankroll, and the alpha might be the one who's good at planning. You know what I mean? So the beta might be able to provide provide for the situation, and the alpha person, whoever it is, might be able to take charge, delegate the duties out in the house or in a professional situation or whatever they doing, you know what I'm saying, and they making sure that everything gets done. But the beta is, for me, the beta is not a bitch, but I mean, it could be. I don't know. But for me, they might just be the one who like to sit back. I've been in situations like that where I've been around women. They were great planners, right? So all I had to do was sit back, and they planned everything out, and they made sure everything was good with it first, and then they did it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that Don is speaking as if he's an omega male. I mean, he has characteristics of being an alpha male, being that leader, but he also has characteristics of being a beta male, where he can sit back and just allow a woman who's strong and dominant to play her role. And if he feels comfortable and confident in that woman and her abilities to lead in certain aspects, he's willing to step back and say, "Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, do you."
And this actually goes to Nikki's comment.
I saw that.
Nikki asked the question.
She said, "Don, just curious, are you an alpha or beta male? And Tina, what about you?"
Right. So I think Tina summed it up with me. You know, I'm like the omega guy, right? You know, before doing the research, I would have said I was probably an alpha, right? But I'm really like the omega, right? Because I can look at it from every angle, any angle whatsoever. You know, if a woman doesn't know how to make reservations, then I'm going to do that. Right. If a woman doesn't know how to buy a house, then I'm going to be the one that do it.
Right.
But if she knows how to do it and she desires to do that thing, then I don't see any reason why not. You know, this just coming from the male perspective. I'm sure Tina gonna have something different. But if a woman can lead in certain, like Tina said, and learn certain aspects of life, well, I mean, why not? I mean, for me, I can sit back and just be like, okay, I'm cool. We getting by. We good. You know what I'm saying? I'm smooth as long as the situation is smooth. I just don't like a bumpy ride.
Right.
And that's the way I look at Omega. Now that we know, I just look at the Omega as the person who does not like a bumpy ride. They just like it to be smooth.
Right.
See, because you know, let me just say this, and then you can answer.
Go ahead.
Right? You got the alpha, right? So when you got an alpha male or alpha female, it's always gonna, no matter what, it's always gonna be coming down to you are trying to control me.
Yes.
Right? And you know, it might not be that way if we knew exactly, if we looked into what we wanted and what we knew about, right? Because leadership and control are two different things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Leadership is dangerous outside. What time are you going to be at home? Right? Control is have your ass home by 8:30.
I don't care what you got to do to get here. 8:30, you better be here.
That's control.
That's control.
So we got a difference in it. So go for it.
Yeah, so in doing the research, after reading upon alpha and beta, I had not studied an omega and what an omega brings to the table and the characteristics of an omega. But I can tell you that after doing my research, I felt like I didn't fit into both beta or alpha, that I could be interchangeable in both. And now in Don's enlightenment of what an omega is, I definitely feel like that's more my lane.
And that was one of Marlo's. I know we didn't get to the comments.
Yeah, we didn't get to that.
Marlo was about to ask. She asked the comment.
So
she said,
"Can a person be a mixture of all?"
And I think that one goes with it right there. A person can be a person. The omegas are the people who are
A
a
mixture.
mixture, because they can take the leadership role, or they can take the secondary role. Right? It's like delegating duties. You know, as an owner or a boss. Right?
Right.
You don't do all the work,
Right.
but you delegate it to the manager. And
Because you know who's strong enough to be
Yeah.
able to do certain tasks. I mean, just think of it in a team setting. So you have the boss, and sometimes bosses are appointed to be the boss, and they may not necessarily know the role of the workers, but they have that dominance, that alpha trait that says that they're a great leader. So they are appointed to be the leader of a group. That group can perform to its fullest extent, but what has to happen is that leader has to now learn not only the role of each of its workers, but also learn the characteristics of each of its workers. So I know that worker A is very strong at lifting things 50 pounds or more. Worker B can't lift over 50 pounds, but guess what he can do? He can take that 50-pound bag, divide it into two, and he can move it faster than the one person who could lift that 50-pound bag, can get it from point A to point B. So you have to learn and understand that when you're in a leadership role, that you have the ability to lead, and that's your primary function. But when you're talking about in a relationship, if you're an alpha male or an alpha woman, your leadership never stops. You almost always have to have control over every single situation and every single person that you're leading. You never even try to understand the strengths or the weaknesses of that individual. It is always your way. I don't care how you get it done. I don't care what you got to do to get it done. I want it done. And that's just that. So when you think about someone who considers themselves to be an alpha is someone who always has to have control of everything that surrounds them, whether it be in their relationship or their professional life or their friendships. Like, they always have to be in the lead or in charge of everything. So females, for example, if you have a group of females and you have that one friend, that female friend that always does all of the planning and everything has to go her way or shit goes to hell, that's an alpha female. And if you don't necessarily mesh well with an alpha female, you might not want to have that person in your circle. But that also goes the same for a guy. A guy may not mesh well with an alpha female because she always has to have control of everything. And an alpha male and an alpha female will never mesh well. Never, in any environment. However, an alpha female or an alpha male can definitely mesh well with a beta or an omega.
Right. 1 second, we gonna let Tina
Want me to
read.
get to these comments? Because you over here laughing at the comments, y'all.
Ain't nobody the same no more. Go ahead. Everybody different.
Everybody different, honey. Views done changed,
Views
y'all.
change.
So, I also just wanted to go back to Paul's point about a beta being a bitch. So, for coming from an omega, a self-proclaimed omega, I can be a beta at any given time. That does not make me weak. That does not make me less than or the alpha or the other omega in any situation to be better than me. It just simply means, as Don said, that if we have a common goal and that goal is going to get us to a further goal, as long as that ride to that goal is smooth, I don't care if you want to take the lead or not. That doesn't make me weak. That doesn't make me a bitch. That just simply means that I'm less confrontational than an alpha.
What's up, Rich? Hey, listen. What do y'all think is the main goal in a relationship? We talking male, female. In a relationship, what do y'all think the main goal of that relationship is?
And while I'm waiting on that,
while we waiting on the answers.
Paul said in his marriage he has 2 alphas. So him and his wife are both alphas. And I can guarantee you, without even knowing your relationship, because I know your wife, But without knowing y'all relationship, y'all fight and bicker a lot. Y'all go back and forth at it a lot. And that's typical in an alpha relationship where you have two alphas. Now, can it work? And can you make it last? Yeah. But at some point, one of you alphas are going to have to step back and be a beta just for 1 second. And that's a very difficult thing for an alpha to do. So my bet is that you, Paul, take the back seat to your missus.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, Paul, I think that's with everything, right? I think that's with everything. I think it's each two alphas are gonna have a fight. Two betas are gonna have a fight.
I don't think two betas are gonna have a fight, though. You know why? Because they both are very non-confrontational. So when it comes down to a non-meeting of the minds, like if they're at odds, they simply push back away from one another, and there's no conversation
Let me show you
whatsoever.
where the fight gonna come in at. You do it. No, you do it. You do it. No, you do it. That's the argument. That's the back and forth.
Yeah,
right?
that's a lot
the
of back
only
and
ones
forth.
that's not gonna have a fight is if two people are omega.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody like,
You do
it'll
it.
get done. You know what I'm
I'd be
saying?
like, you do it. And you'd be like, no, you do it. And I'd be like, you know what? Let's both do it.
Yeah, let's
Fuck
both
it.
do it.
I mean, you take on this part, I'll take on this part. We're still going to get it done. And
gonna get
instead
done.
of us delegating it to one another because we don't feel like being the
Do
alpha
it
today,
together.
let's do it together. Let's get it done.
That's
Fuck it.
that's that really. Go ahead, finish reading those comments. Finish reading those comments. It's deep. The comments are deep. I love the comments, y'all.
Hey,
That's peace.
we vibing and I love it. So Catfish said, have y'all defined the definition of alpha beta, and there has to be a level of compromise. Agreed.
Yep.
Except for alphas, if you are a true 100% alpha, there is no compromise. Your way or the highway. There is no alternative. I want it done. I want this. I want that. And don't offer me anything less.
Yep.
Paul said, what's an omega? Which we already gave you the definition of. Kurt said, I may have missed it. Good work, y'all. Look to resolve situations. And Paul said, alpha holds himself or herself to a higher standard and doesn't tolerate shit. Exactly. That's what we've been saying. Nikki said, this is great info. I hope so. And she also said, I thought Paul was going to join LOL and explain his comment. Well, maybe his constraints of his life couldn't deem that he would be available, but I'm glad that he is still in the comment section and giving us some additional in-depth on what he meant.
Hey, Chris.
Kurt said, I know I'm an alpha due to my leadership skills. I lead and guide in my daily activities. Anywho, anyone who knows me can attest to me being a stand-up guy in our community. Most alphas are definitely stand-up guys, and they are the ones, when you need some shit done, they're gonna get it done at all costs. No matter what it takes to get something done, they're going to make sure that it's done from start to finish. They've already sat down and created a plan, and that plan will not steer off track for any reason. I love alphas. I really do. However, I've now learned that maybe me and an alpha may not mesh too well. But, you know, you never know because I'm an omega female. So Curtis also said, right, Don, he isn't overbearing in the relationship. Paul says, sounds like you two need to run for office.
Hey, you know what? We're thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I got thoughts, Paul.
I mean, if he ever decided he wanted to bring me on as his running mate, I'll be glad to take that seat because, you know, two Omega people could definitely run this country. Like, hey, Don, what do you feel? You don't know what to feel?
I feel what you feel.
Right. I'm going to give you
Let's
some
get
of
it done.
my tidbits of information, and let's put our heads together and get this shit done. What you talking about inflation? What are you talking about a recession? Fuck that. Come on, let's work out this national debt.
It's working.
Nikki said, yep, Don has all three characteristics, and I'm glad you now see that, honey.
Thank you, Nikki.
Queen Intelligent Wisdom said Don is just a diverse individual and comfortable in his position of being a man, I believe.
That's peace, Queen Intelligent Wisdom.
That's peace. That is definite peace. And Nikki Joseph said, before you mentioned Omega, I saw you as an alpha, but now I see you as all three. Catfish said, I believe there's a mixture. Don is speaking it now. Truths.
Peace.
And Marlo said, from the definitions given, I don't think any of them are bad. You just have to know which one you are and what your love language is and how you both complement each other.
That's peace.
Indeed. Indeed.
That's what the relationships are about, to compliment.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to finish the comments because the comments are very interesting. But right as a pause right there, the complimenting of it is when you need to know who you are in search of or who you desire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to start, I think everybody needs to start looking at those traits in the beginning. Mental traits now. These are mental traits. So when you look at them, you're not going to use these two. You're going to use the third. You're going to use the third. So, okay, keep going.
No,
I just wanted to say that.
That's peace. Now, that's peace. That is definitely some real shit right there. So Paul said, I'm guessing I'm an Omega now. I do like being a mix of Alpha and Omega.
That's deep. How many people changed already?
At least 2, maybe 3.
Everybody changed.
Everybody has changed.
Nobody's the same as they came in the room.
Y'all some flip-floppers.
Flippers. Watch this.
All right now. So Nikki said, Paul, right? That's how I feel now. Now Nikki feels like she's an Omega. And she says to Curtis, I'm now an Omega woman. So Curtis, don't call her an Alpha. She is not an Alpha woman. She is an Omega woman.
That's good. Okay.
Kurt said, y'all on fire tonight. Power trip by title or definition. And Queen Intelligent Wisdom said, man, I have some soul searching to do now.
See?
Yes.
Ain't nobody's the same.
That's right. Hey,
but
didn't I start out by telling y'all need to learn something every single day? Look at y'all learning some shit about yourself.
And also, you know, our precursor to the show was entertainment. What else? Entertainment, education, which is information, and self-reflection.
Yes.
And so this right here is, we've been doing some self-reflecting.
That's right.
But go ahead, keep going.
Mr. Cooper said, Born Power, now with the introduction of the Omega, has changed the topic of the entire podcast.
Mr. Cooper, that's peace, man.
That is peace. What's up, Rich?
Rich.
Catfish said, and some use finances as their leverage in the relationship. I believe Don mentioned it earlier. Your money don't define your place.
Exactly.
Yes.
And see, that's where, like I said,
that's where them alpha male and females tend to shine, is because they use their finances as a sense of a power.
Yeah, and let's get into another side real quick before she finishes with the comments. We're going to go into the comments still, but, you know, you also got the point where people will use their money, right? Not to lead.
No.
Not to show that they smart or intelligent, sorry about that, but to control. That right there is not alpha. That's not beta, and that's not omega. That's dumb shit.
That's bitch qualities right there.
There you go, Paul. That's what
that is.
That's that bitch shit right there, because you know that's the person who think that you know, I got the bread, I can control what you do.
Right.
You don't do what I say, you gotta get out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that Trump complex.
Yeah, there you go.
That man feels like because he has money, everybody's gonna bow down and say and do whatever the fuck he wants them to say and do. And ultimately, that has not turned out to be so fruitful for the U.S. But, you know, I digress. So, Miss Queen Intelligent Wisdom said the main goal should be to progress and grow together as one through compromise.
That's speaking to when I said, what do y'all think a relationship should be about?
Yes.
And my thoughts was, it goes right with Queen Intelligent Wisdom, right? That's why her name Queen Intelligent Wisdom, right? Because, you know, you look, growth and development
Yes.
and elevation.
Oh, yes.
Growth,
I
development, and
love that
elevation,
word. Elevation.
right? So we gonna grow and develop together, and also elevate.
Elevate.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what any kind of relationship, no matter what it is, if it's a male messing with a female, this is what needs to happen. And this just one of the a bit of game from Tina and I that and I'm sure y'all already got it, but just do the self-reflection too, right? Growth, when you start what do you call courting, when you start courting with somebody, right? And dating and all of that, you got to start just the first thing what's our growth and development plan, and how are we going to elevate? So start discussing that part of it, and then you'll know if you're dealing with an alpha, a beta, or a mega.
Omega. Yes.
Go ahead. That's a side note.
All right. And so Paul said, good chat. Nikki said, I
Please.
need a beta or an omega male to message me. LOL. I'm not an alpha anymore. Girl, you cracking me up.
Hey, Nick, I'm loving Nikki. Hey, somebody from the inbox Nikki right now.
Please inbox this omega female, because she is in desperate need of an omega or beta male.
And there ain't nothing wrong with
Ain't
that.
nothing wrong with that. Chris Messman joined us.
That's
And she
peace,
said,
Chris.
that's exactly why I left my husband. Was your husband an alpha male?
No, he couldn't have been an alpha male. He's probably that controlling male.
Oh, that,
Because
that
you know,
bitch male.
people
that use that money as a power and leverage.
and they probably get confused with alpha and control, right? Alpha does not mean control, y'all. We're gonna reiterate that, so that if we think we're alpha, male or female, and if you think you're dealing with an alpha, and they and that's a male or female, and they are controlling you by demeaning you and demeaning your qualities to make you look like you beneath them, that's not what this is about. This is not about control.
I would say it's more so when you're defining an alpha, whether it be male or female, it's defining dominance.
Right. And leadership.
Dominance and leadership.
Yeah.
So,
I call it leadership. Guidance.
Guidance.
And I say leadership because, you know, we can get, people can get funny about some words. And they get there like, oh, no, ain't nobody dominating me.
You said dominate?
Dominate me. Nah, you ain't dominating me.
I'm never that. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you getting dominated.
All right. So Nikki said, I would like an alpha male too, though, but they have attitude. She crazy.
Go back to Paul.
Paul said also alphas can be former betas who got hurt in his or her life and created themselves to be an alpha.
You want to speak on that?
Go ahead.
You know, that's so serious, Paul, right there.
That's deep.
Because a lot of times a person say, I'm not going to get hurt anymore. So now they want to take that, they want to step it up.
And be that alpha.
Right, but they'll get confused with the control and dominance.
It was all the negative.
Yeah.
The negativity that alpha person bestowed upon you.
Right.
That forced you to step up and be that alpha, where you were normally that less dominant person. So you were more that beta. But in a sense, if you're able to negotiate your life in that sense and say, no matter what, I'm going to switch it up, you might be more of an omega. Alphas tend to always be an alpha. From day one until they pass away, they're always alphas. Betas tend to always be betas. From day one until the day they die.
Right.
They're always less dominant. They never show any signs of switching or playing both sides or trying to be one versus the other in any situation. They're always betas. They're always going to, you have those people in this world that will always take a back seat and say, you know what, I'm always going to be second in charge, second in command, and I'm okay with that. You always have those leadership people and personalities that will always be leaders, and they will never be able to sit back and allow someone else to dictate, guide, and govern what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to be a beta. So in a true alpha personality trait of a male or a female, they'll never be able to adapt their mentality down to being a beta.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. But
Right.
an omega, you might find, may switch it up. They might have been more omega more beta in the very beginnings of a relationship. But after time goes on and all of those hurtful things happen from that alpha person in their lives, they're like, you know what? I've had enough.
Right.
Your time in my life is over. And at this point, I'm going to put up my wall. I'm going to start to show my alpha traits because I'm an omega person. And so right now is the time in my life where I need to be an alpha. I need to be strong. I need to self-guide, and I need to give myself direction in order to heal from all the damage that you've done to me.
Right. And then some I was going back and forth in a chat before with somebody about somebody switching up on them, right? So that omega, right, when they find out, when the relationship go on, they can also see that this person that's with them may not know what they're doing, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
instead of letting them go off left, they might be the ones that have to take the lead. It's kind of like how the birds fly.
Yes.
Where the first one is real strong, and then he goes around to the back, and the rest leave. He don't stop flying. He just go around to the back, and he getting his rest, right? But he's still moving, and
Right.
he getting his rest, and they keep on rotating like that. You know what I'm saying? So the omega might have to take over that position because the person who he was just sitting back with and letting them lead the way might not be leading them in the right direction. Kind of like
Right.
the blind leading the blind, and he ain't gonna be blind. He just because he like to get by, don't mean he's weak.
Right.
Right. And that don't mean
Yeah.
the beta is weak either. The beta, what I look at the beta is as somebody that can provide and be secure in themselves, right, without having to be the leader.
Right.
Right.
When I think about a beta, whether it be male or female, the first thing that comes to mind is, I know you've all heard of silent investors.
Ooh, yeah.
Silent investors are people who have money. They have the financial means to be great. But you know what? They'd rather be an investor in someone else's business. I don't really want to own a business or be the dictator or the alpha in a business or be a leader. But I see the vision of that alpha or that omega, and I can silently fund your dream. And you don't even have to mention where you got your money from. It came from me, but I don't want all the glitz, the glam, the publicity, the notoriety. I don't want none of that.
Right.
I simply just want to sit back and watch you flourish.
Right. And I think that's sometimes that's the best way, because that's the delegation of duty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can do that and make it look easy.
Oh yeah.
It'll look better. I know some business owners, right, that you'll never know that they the business owner, right?
Yeah.
But it'll be always confusion as to who is the business owner. It might be in your face, but you'll never know because they don't want that kind of exposure, like
Right.
you just said.
They don't need the notoriety. They don't want it, and they're comfortable in their lane, and that doesn't make them weak or less than or a bitch. It just simply means that they don't desire to be the leader in that particular situation.
Right. Go ahead with the.
All right, so the other comments I see, Chris said some alphas play it's my way or highway, but don't get nothing done except for it's for themselves. Yeah, I mean, alphas really truly make decisions as leaders because their end goal is to be up top. So if let's say in an example of a working relationship, if your boss wants to be recognized by the company as being the one boss that has a team that does all the work, my team is tip top shape over any other team, that boss has his own self reasons why he wants to be notarized. He's either trying to step up, he wants that notoriety for some reason, and it's always for selfish gain. And it's unfortunate, but alphas play a good leadership role for that reason.
Let me add on too. I'm gonna add on to what Tina said, and to speak to your statement, Chris, is that alphas are good leaders, right? We cannot confuse it. No. I'm going against their point, Tina's point, but it's part of her point though. Alphas are very good leaders, but people who control others are not alphas, right?
They're bitches.
Yeah, this is somebody.
Anybody that's completely controlling.
Yeah, they want to show their dominance over you, right? Alpha want to show you the way and show you the best way. You see what I'm saying? So the alpha wants to make sure that everything goes good, right? But if we're in a relationship, I can't be good if you're not good.
Right.
So I got to direct you in the right lane. I can't let you just go wild. You know what I'm saying? But somebody who's trying to control you, think of the caveman, right? They grab the woman by the hair and drag her in, right? But the alpha male say, hey, listen, come on in here. I got some heat. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He guiding you to the heat. The caveman controlling you to the heat. You still gonna get warm, but one grabbing you by the hair and dragging you,
and one's grabbing you by your hand.
Yeah.
And saying, follow me.
Yeah. So we don't get confused, ladies out there, and men, because I know some men get abused too. But don't get confused with what an alpha is and who they are. Control is not alpha qualities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Control is dumb shit on the side. You know what I'm saying? And it makes alphas look bad.
Yeah. And I think, some people...
That's also why, sorry for breaking,
go ahead.
breaking your wisdom, but that's also, not to speak into his mouth, what his words, but that's the control part is why in the beginning Paul said the beta is a bitch.
Yeah.
Because it looks like if I got so much control over the woman, right, and you don't, then you look like a bitch.
Right.
Even though let me tell you this. I'm gonna give y'all a great example. When I was married, right, my father-in-law did everything for his mother, for my mother-in-law, right? And it was so great, right? I looked at it like, man, this cat really loves her. But the kids looked at it like she was punking him, right? And I had to tell him I said, man, look, he loves her so much that he'll do without so she can have, right? Not do without items, do without happiness so that she can be happy. He'll sacrifice. He'll be the beta. She'll be the alpha. But they could not recognize that he was just trying to keep her happy. That's it. It wasn't like no control. There's nothing else. You know what I'm saying? He just wanted to make sure she was happy.
Right.
That's it. So you got people like that as well. You know what I'm saying? Great guy, leader. He was a good leader. He did what he did. Church pastor. You know what I'm saying? Do everything. But he wanted his woman to be extremely happy. That was it. And a lot of people don't do that. But go ahead, sorry.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So back to some of these comments. Rich said, constant elevation causes expansion.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Chris said, the bitch male, definitely.
Her husband, right.
Right. And Catfish said, Nikki Joseph, thanks for cleaning it up.
Yeah. Felicia, what's going on?
Nikki said, you're welcome, Catfish. Lisa, thank you. I know. Very true. Thank you. And Queen Intelligent Wisdom said, Tina, deep, very deep, silent investor. Exactly. Exactly. Felicia said, I've tried to do it in a relationship, pull back my alpha female trait, and we bumped heads repeatedly. I realized it's not worth the fight in the end. Me being an alpha female to his alpha male. And, ooh, that's deep.
See, that's heavy.
That's deep.
That's heavy.
So, Lisa, we're going to ask you the same thing we asked about anyone who categorized themselves as one or the other. What makes you an alpha female?
Yeah.
While we're waiting on you to reply to that, Catfish said, control freaks and put others beneath them. Those are bitches. They're definite bitches. They probably started off as alpha people, male or female. But then they found that control word and decided they loved that specific delegation of control. And they wanted that to rule how they dealt with people in their lives. And unfortunately, that strong person, that alpha person who was very positive and uplifting and very guiding and had that strong leadership, allowed that control, that sense of control to take over all of these great qualities about them and turn them into complete bitches.
Yeah, some people can't keep a relationship with some men can't keep a relationship with a woman, and some women can't keep a relationship with a man without control. Because without control, the man that's controlling this woman will get her knocked. She'll get took by somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But the fear, which is the control, makes her stay in that situation. And sometimes the man by the woman is the same way. You know what I'm saying? He'll have a woman that he work with that'll be a great woman, but the control of the matter, he won't leave because she say, well, if you leave, I'll take everything from you.
Right.
You know, I'll take the house. You know, you don't have to pay for the kids. You'll have to do all of this. You ain't gonna have nothing. And I'm gonna expose you if you did any punk shit. You know what I'm saying? So all of that go on. So some people can't even keep a relationship without control. So that's what, you know, before you read the few comments, that's what makes the Omega so interesting. Because he can keep a relationship, or she can keep a relationship, right? So nonchalantly. They don't even need nothing. They just like, oh yeah, cool, let's do it. It's cool. We just move like that. You know what I mean?
Here, y'all.
I'm the Omega man, not that guy that barked, but you know what I'm saying. Keep going.
All right. So Catfish said those traits carry on into the workplace too. They're some bucket head leaders, and their relationship is horrible as well. That is definitely true. Oh, Rich. Rich said you're not a true alpha if you can't be all three. In order to be a general, you still have to be a soldier.
Most definitely. Because the general,
you started from somewhere.
I'm about to say the general went through the ranks.
That's right.
The general went through the ranks. And in order to be that, you know, in order to display those qualities to the future, which is the private soldier, right? You had to do it all. You had to get to everything. You had to go through everything.
Yeah, you had to walk through that mud in order to know that, you know, I'm greater than this. And, you know, I want to help guide those that are now walking through the mud to do it efficiently. And we're all going to get where we want to go. But through my journey, now I can help you get where you need to go.
We got you, Rich.
We ain't skip you, bro. We got you. Nikki said that's how my ex-husband was with me, but where did it go? He was cheating too. Ooh, see, he was a bitch. Yeah. Cheating is a no. My son, I love when he says it. He says that is a no.
Well, you know what though? You know, that's another subject, another topic, because when you look at cheating, right, you got to look at
the reason
and what's considered cheating. Like me, I don't, you know.
Y'all about to get him way off topic.
Nah, right, because you know what? I find you more cheating if you give your brain away.
Ooh.
If the woman, if for me personally, if a woman gives her mind away, that's more cheating to me. Remember I said that on one of the shows. I was like, man, you got to slow the conversation down with your mama, your sister, your cousin, your best friends, all of that. That's cheating right there. And it can be because a lot of those conversations that can be had with your man,
Right.
you having them with somebody else. That's cheating. What you do with somebody else that you can do at home, I mean, with the person is what I'm saying, is considered cheating. It's not just sex.
That's deep.
It's not just sex. I mean, so
That is
Nikki,
truly
I'm just going.
deep.
We keep Nikki.
We're gonna keep it moving
I
though,
like
because
that.
that's a whole nother topic, a
whole
whole
nother
nother
topic.
topic of discussion that maybe we could pick Mr. Born Power's brain about at a later date. The true definition of cheating, huh?
Yeah, we gotta get to that.
We're gonna get to that one of these days, y'all.
Hey, and we
That's
ain't
gonna be a
gonna-
good one.
And we ain't gonna tell y'all about the next show, but we ain't gonna tell y'all that yet. But we got another show that's gonna be really nice for y'all next
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
y'all feel-
Especially Miss Joseph.
Nikki Wigglebottom. I like that name. I like Wigglebottom better. I love Wigglesbottom.
He just the image of a bottom wiggling.
Wiggling.
That's where Dom is.
I like that name. Is when I see that name, I was like, who the hell is Wigglesbottom? Sent me a friend because I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That is so funny.
Okay.
All right.
Felicia,
I read Felicia's.
I'm a natural leader.
Oh,
It's
I'm a
time.
natural leader professionally and personally. I'm very in tune with my strength.
What's your strength, Felicia?
Yeah, what strengths do you possess or do you have that makes you an alpha?
Yeah,
Female.
That makes you that
And-
natural leader.
Yeah. Do you ever find that you have to sometimes be a beta in a situation, whether it's professional, whether it's personal, whether it's in a romantic relationship or a relationship with your family and friends? Do you ever find that in any situation you might decide to be a beta in order to keep the peace, so to speak? Or, maybe right now isn't a time for you to be that alpha?
Right.
Because you missed it. But we introduced a third, and that was the Omega. So you might have to go back and rewatch
Yes.
in order for you to find out if you actually might fit the mold of, instead of an alpha, but more of an Omega.
Omega. And Felicia, one thing I'm gonna say about what you said I'm a natural leader professionally and personally. I'm very in tune with my strength, right? Them are some big, gigantic words.
Yes.
Naturally, you saying that you had this from birth.
Yes, it was
From
embedded
birth.
in her.
It was embedded in you that you was gonna lead. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
in her DNA.
That's in your DNA. Do you know what DNA is?
That's
It's way
it.
down there. It's
Yeah.
deep in your blood.
Right.
It's way deep in your body.
That predetermined
This
before
is
you can even
serious.
form a thought.
Yep.
Your DNA determined that you were going to be a natural born leader. That's wonderful.
Right. Nikki said, Lord, will y'all please read this comment?
Nikki clowning Rich in these comments, y'all. She said, please read this comment. We read it.
Yeah, we read that one.
We read it. Anybody got anything else they want to add to the discussion? While I'm waiting on y'all to add to the discussion, I just wanted to call out a few things that the author of the clip that we played, what she said or pointed out in her description or depiction of what an alpha versus an alpha versus a beta is. So she mentioned that beta male's whole agenda is to worship and take care of his woman. I don't know if y'all caught that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that about a man. I love that. And that's why I said to Paul, betas aren't bitches. I love a man that just, his whole sole purpose in life is to make sure that I'm happy.
That's what I just mentioned about my
I
father-in-law.
love that. I really, truly love that. And I would
it.
never consider a man that has that personality trait to be a bitch.
Right.
That's why I struggled with that answer when you brought it up. But hopefully we kind of changed your perspective on that a little bit.
Because that's like I said, that's what happened with that's what I see in my father-in-law. That's exactly what I seen in him. His whole life is about making her happy. His
that's
happiness comes from her
thing.
happiness.
That is a beautiful
right.
thing.
And when you look at I know we're gonna keep on going, but when you look at the tradition of male-female relationships, and when I say traditions, we just going back in time a little bit. We ain't got to go all the way back. We can just go back. We ain't gonna go back 66, but we're gonna go back, a few hundred years. The male makes the woman happy, right?
Yes.
In the courting process, to get with the woman.
That's right.
And where does it change at?
Who knows when it changes?
This shit change at after you
But
got with her?
it definitely changes at some point. We all know that,
Right.
Unless you got a true beta male who never changes.
Right.
As I said about 10 minutes ago, a person who's a true alpha never changes their perspective on life, how they approach people in their lives. It always is because they want to take that leadership role in every situation. Beta always wants to take that backseat role. It's whatever you want, whatever you like, whatever is going to make you happy and us get to where we need to go. I'm cool with it. And then, of course, the omega can switch between the two.
Right.
But keep in mind that a beta male, their whole agenda is to worship and take care of his woman, and vice versa. A beta woman, her role in life, her whole objective when getting involved romantically with a man is to make sure that she caters to him, that he is 100% comfortable with their life projection and plan.
Mm-hmm.
An alpha male expects his woman to take care of and please him. It's all about him. It's always about him. He is the leader. That is what you should do as a beta woman or an omega woman, is to make sure he's happy, he's safe, he's comfortable, all of his needs are met. All of his expectations are for you to do for him, because as a leader, he's already done what he needed to do for you.
That's the lion that she spoke about.
That is the lion. Now,
lion,
when you
y'all.
talk about the lioness is what the lion, the alpha male, seeks a lioness, which is a beta female. And the reason why he seeks a lioness is because she's more docile. A beta female is way more docile than an alpha female. An alpha female is very much like an alpha male. She always wants someone to please her. So if you're my male in my life, as an alpha female, you better find you a beta male or an omega male, because an alpha male is never going to cater to you. He's never going to make sure that your needs are met, because his common goal is to make sure that he's taken care of. And if that makes you happy in the process, that's great, because we are one unit and we need to move and maneuver through life together. So as a unit, I'm going to make sure that you get to where you need to go. But guess who's going to be happy at the end of the day? Me. Keep in mind, some of the beta characteristics are that they're not as assertive and they're not as outgoing. They don't have to have the spotlight. They don't have to be front and center. They're good with taking the back seat. An alpha trait doesn't take shit from anybody.
Oh, no.
They don't take shit from nobody.
Yeah. Though Omega not taking shit either.
Nope. But we know how to shut up and sit back and make sure that everything you're saying, if you're an alpha and you're trying to lead, that you're on point and you're accurate. Because if you're not, as an omega, I'm going to step up into that alpha role and be like, you know what? You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
Right.
An alpha wants respect, and he either gets it or it's over. And one thing the powerful thing that she explained is that an alpha male is in 100% alignment with the creator.
No doubt. No doubt. 100%. You know what I mean?
So Re-listen to this tape, this recording, so that you can hear this woman speak about the differences between an alpha versus a beta. Re-listen specifically so that you can hear Born Power speak about the third introduction of an omega personality. And, you know, hopefully you find yourself in one of those three areas and just live in your truth. Like, don't feel that because you're an alpha female or alpha male that it's a bad thing, that
Right.
you're a leader and that you're strong and you're powerful. It's not bad. A beta because you're a little bit more docile, you're not as assertive, because what you do bring to the table for an alpha in your life or an omega in your life is astronomical. Because once you find your yin to your yang,
It's gonna be all good.
it's gonna be all good.
You know what? Is there a way that we can share that
Clip again.
into the link into the chat?